Do you know what makes a woman's heart beat faster before she even realizes it herself? It isn't your looks, your bank account, or even the clever line you rehearsed in your head. It's something deeper, something primal, something she can't put into words but feels in her body the moment you stand in front of her. And right now, you need to hear this. Most men destroy their chances in the first few seconds because they think flirting is about impressing her. It's not. Flirting is about awakening a silent conversation of energy, tension, and play. If you miss this, you'll forever be the guy who talks too much, tries too hard, and gets politely rejected. Think about the last time you were with a woman you found irresistible. Did you feel that wave of pressure in your chest? That tug of war between wanting her and not wanting to look desperate? That's the battlefield where flirting lives. And here's the truth no one ever told you. Women are not testing your words, they're testing your presence. They don't care about the joke if it comes from insecurity. They don't care about the compliment if it comes from neediness. What hooks her is the man who can look at her, pause, and hold silence without fidgeting. A man who smiles not because he's begging for approval, but because he genuinely sees something playful in her that he enjoys. Flirting is not about being smooth. It's about giving her permission to feel alive. Every woman craves that sensation of being drawn in, of feeling her guard melt, of suddenly realizing she's giggling like a teenager. And you create that by stepping into the role of the man who doesn't chase, but instead invites. Imagine her looking into your eyes and seeing not a man who needs her, but a man who enjoys her. That difference alone flips the entire dynamic. Most men kill attraction because they broadcast hunger instead of mastery. She feels the weight of your desire pressing on her, and it suffocates her instinct to play. But when your energy is light, teasing, steady, she feels safe to dance in that invisible space with you. That's where the magic of flirting begins. Not in words, but in how you carry yourself when no words are spoken. Most men think flirting starts with what they say, but the truth is, it starts long before words ever leave your mouth. A woman decides how she feels about you in seconds based on your body language, your energy, and the unspoken message you project. If you walk up stiff, hesitant, shoulders tense, eyes darting around like you're searching for permission, you've already lost. She feels that insecurity like a cold draft entering the room. But if you approach with relaxed shoulders, steady steps, and a subtle smile that says you're enjoying yourself, whether she approves or not, you instantly change the atmosphere. That is the art of silent flirtation before sound ever exists. Here's what most men never realize. A woman's imagination is 10 times more powerful than your best pickup line. If your presence sparks curiosity, she'll write the story in her head before you've said a single thing. That's why the way you pause matters more than the way you speak. Think about it. The man who rushes, stumbles over words, fills every second with nervous chatter. He drains the tension. The man who can stand in a moment of silence, eyes calm, lips curled into a slight grin. He builds tension. And women love tension because it makes them feel something they can't control. Flirting is an invitation into a game. But games are only fun when both people feel free to play. If she feels you're placing all your happiness, all your sense of worth, on her reaction, she'll feel trapped. That pressure makes her want to escape. But if you radiate lightness, like you're enjoying a private joke with yourself, and she's welcome to join, she feels drawn in. She starts leaning closer, mirroring your energy, waiting for you to drop the next breadcrumb of playfulness. Let me tell you this. Women are masters at reading micro-expressions. If your smile is fake, if your laughter is forced, if your compliment is a mask to cover insecurity, she'll feel it instantly. But if your energy is congruent, your words match your body, your smile is real, your eyes stay steady, she'll trust the dance. The secret to flirting is not about trying harder. It's about being lighter. It's about being the man who doesn't need her validation because he's already having fun in his own skin. There's one thing you must understand. Flirting is not logic, it's rhythm. Most men fail because they treat flirting like a negotiation, like if they just say the right things, she'll give them approval. But women don't respond to logic when it comes to attraction. They respond to emotion, energy, and the cadence of how you deliver yourself. The art of flirting lives in timing. It's the pause before you speak. It's the slight smirk when she expects seriousness. It's the unexpected playfulness that breaks her pattern and makes her feel like the world just shifted a little. Think about music. A song isn't just notes, it's the space between the notes that creates feeling. That's flirting. If you bombard her with compliments, questions, and nervous energy, you drown out the melody. But when you create rhythm, sometimes speaking, sometimes teasing, sometimes just holding eye contact, you pull her into the dance. She doesn't even know why she's smiling, leaning in, or biting her lip. That's because you've taken her out of her mind and into her body. And here's the truth. Women crave men who can break their patterns. Every day, women are approached with the same boring, "Hey, how are you?" or "You're so pretty." They're numb to it. But when you tilt your head, give her that half grin, and say something playful like, "You look like trouble I probably shouldn't trust." With a pause, you've shifted her entire emotional state. You're no longer another guy in the crowd. You're the one who makes her feel. Flirting is not about being offensive or over the top. It's about creating tension and then releasing it just enough to keep her hooked. You tease, then you soften. You challenge, then you smile. You hold her gaze a second longer than she expects, then look away as if she's the one chasing your attention. That's the balance. Push and pull, tension and release. Most men never master this because they're too focused on the outcome. They want her number, her attention, her approval. But when you shift your focus to enjoying the dance itself, you become magnetic. Women sense when a man is flirting not to win, but because he genuinely enjoys playing in that electric space between two people. That's when she feels safe enough to drop her guard and let attraction grow naturally. Here's the paradox that most men never learn. The more you chase, the more she retreats. But the more you hold yourself as if you are already complete, the more she wants to step into your world. Flirting is not about convincing her to like you. It's about creating a space where she feels pulled toward you without knowing why. And the secret to that pull lies in your energy of scarcity. Not scarcity in money or possessions, but scarcity in attention. When you give your attention away too freely, she doesn't value it. Women are drawn to the man who makes them feel seen, but also makes them wonder. If every compliment rolls off your tongue instantly, it loses weight. But when you observe something unique about her and let your smile hang for just a second before you say it, she feels the impact. She knows she earned it, and that's when her heart skips. Here's the deeper truth. Women live in a constant sea of attention. Social media, dating apps, men on the street. They're bombarded every day. But most of that attention is empty, desperate, and predictable. The man who flirts differently, the one who uses mystery, subtlety, and restraint, becomes unforgettable. When you hold eye contact just a second too long, when you tease her gently and then change the subject, when you drop a playful line and then turn your attention elsewhere, you create scarcity. You create the sense that your attention is not unlimited and she must earn more of it. Flirting is an art of balance between warmth and distance, teasing and tenderness, play and seriousness. Too much teasing and you seem like a clown. Too much seriousness and you feel like an interview. But when you dance between the two, she feels like she's on a roller coaster she doesn't want to get off. She starts thinking about you when you're not even there, replaying the little things you said, the look in your eyes, the way you made her laugh. That is real attraction. Remember this, you are not trying to impress her. You are inviting her to join your energy. Your words are less important than the feeling you leave behind. A woman may forget what you said, but she will never forget how you made her feel when you flirted with presence, mystery, and lightness. That's the art most men will never master. Every woman you meet carries a hidden question inside her mind. Is this man safe enough to let go with, but strong enough that I can't fully control him? That question is at the heart of flirting. If she senses you're too eager, too compliant, too desperate for her approval, she knows she can control you. And the game ends before it begins. But if she senses arrogance, coldness, or hostility, she doesn't feel safe, and her defenses rise instantly. The art of flirting lives in the middle ground, playful strength. Playful strength means you are grounded in who you are, yet light enough to let her feel like she can dance with you without fear. It's when you tease her in a way that challenges her, but smile in a way that reassures her. For example, if she says something dramatic, instead of agreeing just to keep peace, you tilt your head, give her that mischievous grin and say, "You sound way too dangerous for me to handle." In that moment, she laughs, but deep down she feels it. You didn't fold, you didn't attack, you played. That playfulness tells her you're not intimidated by her, and the strength behind it tells her you won't collapse under her beauty or charm. That's what draws her in, because women are wired to be fascinated by men they cannot fully predict. Predictability kills attraction. When she knows exactly what you'll say, exactly how you'll react, the mystery evaporates. But when you carry yourself with relaxed unpredictability, never trying too hard, but never giving all of yourself away, she leans closer. She wants to see what you'll do next. Flirting is not a performance, it's a mirror. The way you interact reflects how comfortable you are in your own skin. If you're anxious, she feels anxious. If you're calm, she relaxes. If you're playful, she opens. But beneath it all, you must have the backbone of strength. Women don't fall for men who worship them. They fall for men who invite them into a world that already feels alive without them. Your job in flirting is not to chase her into your life, but to make your life so magnetic she feels curious to join. That's when she starts giving you the signals, leaning in, touching her hair, lingering in the conversation, without even realizing she's doing it. One of the most overlooked truths about flirting is this: it isn't about her, it's about the energy you create between you. Most men walk into an interaction with women thinking, how can I make her like me? How can I win her approval? That mindset kills attraction instantly because it shifts all the power into her hands. But the men who succeed at flirting flip the script. They're not chasing her approval, they're inviting her into an experience. And that experience is what she remembers long after the words fade. Think about the difference between a man who nervously compliments her outfit versus a man who looks her up and down with a teasing smile and says, "So, are you always this rebellious? Or just today?" One is begging for validation. The other is sparking curiosity. Women are drawn to curiosity, to the man who makes them wonder what else he's going to say or do. That's why the best flirting never feels rehearsed. It feels alive, spontaneous, playful. The mistake men make is believing they need to deliver perfect lines. But perfect lines without presence are empty. A woman can feel when you're reciting something you memorized versus when you're actually playing in the moment with her. Real flirting is improvisation. It's noticing the tiny details, her earrings, the way she sips her drink, the expression in her eyes, and using them as material. That shows her you're not trapped in your head, you're connected to the moment, and connection is irresistible. Another truth: women don't always remember what you said, but they remember how they felt standing in front of you. Did she feel lighter, more playful, more alive? Or did she feel weighed down by your nervousness and neediness? The answer decides whether she'll want more of you. Flirting isn't about creating attraction, it's about amplifying it. If she already felt a spark, your energy either fans the flame or smothers it. And that's why your energy matters more than words. So stop trying to impress. Stop trying to be flawless. Instead, focus on creating a shared bubble of play, where she feels safe to laugh, safe to tease back, safe to step into that dance of attraction. That's when flirting becomes unforgettable. not because of what you did, but because of how you made her feel. Every man who learns the art of flirting eventually discovers this. Subtlety is more powerful than force. Women are wired to notice the smallest signals: a glance, a pause, a shift in tone. And it's these tiny sparks that ignite attraction. The man who tries too hard, who floods the moment with words, who pushes too aggressively, creates resistance. But the man who uses subtle cues, playful eye contact, a teasing remark, a pause that lingers, awakens her imagination. And when her imagination is engaged, she starts doing half the work for you. Here's the secret most men never hear. A woman doesn't just want to be desired. She wants to feel like she's discovering you. If you dump all your cards on the table, your feelings, your intentions, your compliments, she loses curiosity. But if you reveal yourself in layers, letting her peel back pieces over time, she feels addicted to the mystery. That's why subtle flirting works. It leaves room for her to chase. Imagine this. You're talking to her, and instead of telling her how beautiful she is, you smirk and say, "You've got that look, like you know something I don't." Suddenly she's wondering what you see in her. She feels the spotlight, but in a way that challenges her instead of placing you beneath her. That's what makes her lean forward. That's what keeps her hooked. And don't underestimate the power of touch. Not desperate, lingering touch, but fleeting, almost accidental touch. A light brush on the arm when you laugh, a gentle tap when you tease her. It's subtle, yet electric. It says, "I'm confident enough to close the distance, but I don't need to hold you to prove it." That balance drives women crazy because it feels natural, not forced. Subtle flirting is about planting seeds, not bulldozing the ground. It's about saying just enough, doing just enough, and then stepping back to let her invest too. Because when she invests, the attraction multiplies. Most men fail because they think flirting is a one-way performance. It's not. It's a dance, and the best dancers know when to lead and when to give space. The more you master subtlety, the more she feels like she's falling into something she can't fully control. And that's where desire lives. Here's something you must never forget. Women are emotional creatures first, rational creatures second. Flirting works not because of logic, but because it bypasses her rational defenses and stirs her emotions. Most men try to convince a woman to like them, piling up reasons why they'd make a good choice. But attraction isn't a decision she thinks through. It's a feeling that sneaks up on her. That's why the art of flirting is not about proving yourself. It's about creating emotions she can't ignore. When you flirt, your job is not to show her how worthy you are. Your job is to awaken sides of her she doesn't get to feel often. Maybe it's the girlish playfulness she hides behind her serious face. Maybe it's the spark of mischief she doesn't usually reveal. Maybe it's the thrill of being challenged instead of worshipped. Every woman craves a man who can bring her into those states. That's why a simple line, delivered with confidence and timing, can have more impact than hours of small talk. Think about this. The man who makes her feel alive will always be remembered more than the man who simply makes sense. If she feels bored, safe, and unimpressed, she may respect you, but she won't desire you. But if you make her laugh unexpectedly, if you tease her just enough to make her eyes widen, if you hold silence until she nervously breaks it, she will replay that moment in her mind again and again. That's what real flirting does. It lingers. And here's the twist. When you flirt, you must not only spark her emotions, but also stay grounded in your own. If she teases back, if she tests you, if she throws a sarcastic comment, your reaction reveals everything. Do you fold and apologize? Do you get defensive? Or do you smile, lean back, and throw it right back with calm playfulness? That calm strength shows her she can't rattle you. And that makes you 10 times more attractive, because it proves you're not playing to win her. You're playing because you enjoy the game itself. Remember, The most magnetic men are not the ones who need her attention, but the ones who make her feel something unique when she's with them. Flirting is your canvas, and her emotions are the paint. The more colors you awaken, the more unforgettable you become. There's a reason why some men can walk into a room and women notice them before they've said a word. It's not their looks, it's not money, it's the energy of certainty. And certainty is the most attractive form of flirting there is. Because when you know who you are, when you're comfortable in your skin, you don't need to overcompensate. You don't need to chase. You simply exist in a way that makes others want to step closer. Women sense that in seconds, the steadiness in your posture, the calm in your eyes, the relaxed way you take up space. That's a form of flirting that speaks louder than any line you could ever memorize. But here's where most men destroy that energy. They betray themselves. They act different around women than they do with anyone else. They put on a mask. They laugh harder at jokes that aren't funny. They exaggerate stories. They mold themselves into what they think she wants. And deep down, she feels it. She knows this isn't the real you, and that makes her pull back. Authentic flirting is the opposite. It's when you bring your true self, but in the most playful, magnetic version. Not needy, not apologetic, just grounded and alive. Certainty doesn't mean arrogance. It means you're not afraid of her reaction. If she laughs, good. If she rolls her eyes, even better. You keep playing. If she teases back, you enjoy it. You don't flinch, you don't collapse, you don't beg. That's what makes her lean in. Women are endlessly curious about men who don't crumble under their beauty or their tests. Because most men do. And when you don't, you become rare. This is why confidence is contagious. The moment you carry yourself like you're already enough, she feels it. She starts matching your energy. Suddenly she's laughing more, touching more, giving signals she wasn't planning to give. Why? Because your certainty gave her permission to let go of her defenses. You didn't force her. You didn't beg her. You simply radiated calm, playful strength, and her instincts pulled her in. So remember, the greatest flirt isn't the loudest, the funniest, or even the smoothest. It's the man who makes her feel safe enough to play and intrigued enough to keep guessing. That's the balance most men will never master. Now listen closely, because this is where it all comes together. Flirting is not about tricks, lines, or gimmicks. It's about who you are when you stand in front of a woman. If you carry neediness, she will feel it. If you carry insecurity, she will sense it. If you carry arrogance, she will resist it. But if you carry playfulness grounded in strength, she will be drawn in like metal to a magnet. That balance is rare, and rarity is irresistible. The art of flirting is simply this: becoming a man who enjoys the game, not a man who fears it. When you see her as the prize you must win, you lose. When you see yourself as a man who already has a full, magnetic life and you invite her to share a piece of it, you win without chasing. Women are not looking for perfection. They're looking for a man who can stir their emotions, make them laugh, challenge them a little, and hold their gaze like no one else. That man is unforgettable. You've learned now that flirting isn't about words. It's about timing, presence, rhythm, tension, and release. It's about being light, teasing without cruelty, challenging without hostility, playful without desperation. It's about giving her the space to step into the dance with you, instead of drowning her in your need for approval. And when you master this, women begin to see you differently. They don't just see another man trying to impress them. They feel a force they can't quite name. That force is your energy, your certainty, your magnetic presence. So ask yourself this: are you going to keep being the man who tries too hard, who talks too much, who gives away all his power the moment a woman smiles at him? Or are you going to step into the version of yourself that women can't ignore? The man who knows how to flirt not with words, but with energy, playfulness, and grounded strength. That choice will shape every interaction you have from this day forward. Now, I want to hear from you. Be honest. When you flirt, do you tend to overtalk and chase, or do you hold back and keep it subtle? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this video spoke to you, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it today.